Hello and welcome to this webinar all about the SDI Awards. My name is Matt Greening. I'm going to be your host as we take a look at the awards in a bit of detail, and most importantly, we find out what you guys can do yourselves to give yourselves the best chance of being shortlisted as a finalist, maybe even winning. I'm joined today by a panel of guests who all know a thing or two about the SDI Awards, having been category winners in 2020. So they're keen to share their experience and help you make the awards as smooth and as enjoyable for you as it was for them. So I've got a bunch of questions to ask, and that will give us a great insight into the process. But I think what would be really great is if we can get some questions from you. So there's a panel on the right-hand side. Well, it's on the right-hand side on my screen. It says the word questions on it. I'm sure you can find it. So if you can find that panel and pop some questions on there. I can see we can already got a couple of questions from people saying they can't hear. So I think we might need to sort that out. Could I think the asker is Sam. Got a bit of echo there. I'm just hoping that you guys can hear me as I go along with this. Okay, good. So we've got some positive messages. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Bill. And hopefully everyone else can hear me now. So yeah, I've got a bunch of questions to ask, but what I'd like to do is get your questions. Yes, the meeting is being recorded. You will be able to get a copy of this afterwards. The questions are working as well. So let's meet our panel. We've got three fantastic guests who are going to introduce themselves in a second. We've got Tanya from Icon Business. Now, Tanya won the Best Service Desk Customer Experience Award in 2020. We've also got Dorina from Stefanini, who won the Best Large MSP category. And we've got Morten Lydell from Ticketmaster, winners of the Best Service Desk. So I'm going to let the guys introduce themselves, tell us who their company is, what their role is in that company. Let's start with Tanya, if that's okay.
Hi there, thank you very much, Matt. I'm Tanya Corsi. I'm the CEO at Icon Business Limited. We are a small business software and services house, and we work mainly with public sector UK users.
Fantastic, thanks, Tanya. Dorina, would you like to go next?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Dorina Kocic. I'm working with Stefanini for around 14 years. I'm leading the service management office. Stefanini provides services that cover the ITO support area, but also software development, digital solutions for global companies, and we have a high presence around the world.
Fantastic, thanks, Dorina. And last but not least, Morten.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, hello from Copenhagen. I'm Morten Lydell, and I run the internal service desk called Product Support with Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster is the largest ticketing company in the world with a sales of about 500 million tickets a year. And I've been part of the business for about 15 years, running the internal service desk product support for the last 9 years or so. And yes, we won the Best Service Desk in 2020, and that was amazing.
Fantastic, thanks, Morten. So finally, I'm just going to briefly introduce myself. My name is Matt Greening. I'm Head of Client Experience at Centrality. We're an MSP based in Bedfordshire, providing support in the public sector and in hospitality. First got involved in the awards when I was working at SDI as an auditor and consultant, and I've been a judge on the awards for the last 5 years. What that means is I was judge of the Best MSP category last time round, which means I got the pleasure of finding out all about Stefanini. And although it was a close run thing, I can tell you they were very worthy winners. Before we start asking these guys some questions, we have got a question for you. We've got a poll that hopefully we're going to pop up on the screen now. So if you can just, you should be able to click on that and give us your answer. Let us know what you're considering doing for this year's awards. Just leave that open for a few more seconds. Hopefully you're able to, yeah, we're getting some results here. No, actually, I didn't realize I was going to be able to see that, and there they are. So, wow, over half of you looking to enter the awards this year, which is very exciting. Hopefully, well, I know that that the stuff you're going to hear today will definitely help you in your application. There we go. So as a reminder, closing date for applications this year is the 22nd of October. So you've got plenty of time to get your entries in. So that's just over 5 weeks. Yeah, so plenty of time to absolutely represent your organisation as best you can. So let's start with the questions. First question we've got is really, we're going to start at the start of the process, and really like to know what were your key reasons for deciding to submit for an award in 2020. What were the first steps you took, and what made you choose the category? So can we start with Morten? Would you like to tell us why you decided to apply for an award?
Yes, I definitely would like to. So, well, basically, I think the one thing that decided this for us as an internal service desk at Ticketmaster was that at the time when we started the process, it was the right time for us, because we as a service desk came from different small teams, and we had been together for a large service desk for about a year, maybe 2 years, and it was just about the right time. We were ready to build on how much we achieved so far, and we were thinking about the SDI accreditation as a team and company, and we really thought that the first step would be to see, can we gather everything we need? Can we provide all the details of what we think we're doing? Can we do it in a good way? And can we then present that to the SDI and maybe get into the finalist and maybe even win the award? Can we actually deliver what we think we're delivering? So on our side, it was a really good time, because we were mature enough as a team to start that process. And then if we did win, we could move on to the accreditation, which might be the next point for us, since we did win. But it was a perfect time for us, as coming from smaller teams into a large 25-30 people large service desk. So that was exactly the right timing for us, which made us start the process. And we basically started with saying, okay, look at the journey. Where did we start? Where are we now? Where is it that we want to head? So that was the first thing. We started to map out the journey of where we came from and what we were trying to achieve. That was basically the first thing, talking to everyone, stakeholders, and internally saying, this is where we started, this is where we want to go, this is where we are now. Mapping that out really helped a lot on our side.
Okay, so it's a culmination of 18 months worth of work after quite a serious, significant organisational change, an operational change, and this was a way of, I guess, a way of recognising the hard work that the team had put in over that 18-month period.
Exactly, proven that we could deliver what we thought we were delivering every day, and this was the right way to do it in our mind.
Fantastic, thank you very much. So, Darina, I remember a fair bit about your submission. That was a little while ago, but so why did you decide to go through the process?
Well, I think for us it wasn't as planned as it was for Morten. For us it was more of a, let's say, a coincidence, or how it was meant to be in this case. Marketing decided like 5 days before the submission, they sent a notification, said, hey, look, they are having this awards gala. Do you think that we could submit, we could enroll ourselves? And actually, myself, together with the delivery director at that time, we took it as a challenge, even though the time was very short, and we took it as a challenge from two perspectives. One was to confirm to ourselves that what we believe about our services can be proven and assessed by others, by companies that are accredited and are doing this type of assessments. And the second purpose was to actually engage our people into working together in seeing how we can deliver and submit a proposal in such a short time. So it was a great team exercise. You know that sometimes the best exercises are done when you don't have that much time available. And we decided at that point, I think, to submit to enroll for 6 categories. We actually thought who would be the best to represent each category. We appointed people, we appointed teams, and in a very short amount of time, we submitted the business cases. I think we were down selected in 3 categories, if I remember correctly: best customer experience, best team leader, and best managed service provider. And for us, this was a great exercise, not for us as a company, but for us as a team, because it proved that we can get together, that we can get the work done. And by being selected for for the next round for 3 categories, confirmed that our work pays off. It was a recognition. It was a great recognition tool for our team and for the company as well.
That's fantastic. And what we learned there is that if you are able to submit put together a winning submission in 5 days, then those people listening out there, they've got a month before they even have to start. That's great to hear.
Indeed.
And
now we are happy this year. We have more time available. We already started the process, and
oh wow, good. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And so
we are happy not on short term.
You had 2 very different reasons and approaches. So Tanya, what was your experience?
Ours actually came from our own service desk. They, one of our junior apprentices actually decided that they were getting really lovely feedback from clients. You know, we always try to build case studies. Our business grows through word of mouth, it's business to business. So, you know, our reputation is everything to us. And we were getting lovely comments back from clients regarding the service and the friendliness of the support team. And that also came off of the back of implementing a new service desk software tool where you can get that rapid instant feedback. So when you're getting 95% satisfaction every single week and every single month, then they were thinking, oh, maybe we're better at this than it feels when you're dealing with problems every single day. So it came directly from the team, and then they approached us as a management team and asked if it was something that we would support them to put a bid in to try and win the Customer Experience Award. And that was how it all kicked off for us.
So why did you choose that particular award then?
Again, we're very much a customer. I know every business says this, that they're customer centric, but it is the heart of what we do. Our clients tend to buy from us again and again and again when they move to a new organization. So although we're a software house, our after sales service and our support team are incredible. You know, we hear this again and again and again. So that category seemed to fit. It very much resonated with us as a business. It would mean a lot to our clients who use the service. And when you're quite a small business and you don't know how you fit into what other companies do, then it seemed to be, you know, it seemed to be the right award for us to go for at the time. And it was easy for us to build evidence based on that category. We knew that we'd be able to get the evidence for that one. So
that does lead me nicely on into how you went about creating the entry. And so I imagine that as the idea came from the team, they were invested in it, they were brought into it, and happy to put in the hours to creating the entry. Is that what you found?
Yeah, I mean, we gave them time, you know, during their normal working days to sort of put some thought into it and to start building the report that they needed to do to start gathering the evidence. And then once they'd started that work, we then went in and filled sort of, because again, it's like everything else, you're trying to build a story, you're trying to explain why you're going for that category, why you as a business, why you as a team should win that award. So for us, it was like, what does the exam question say? What are the judges actually looking for? Really analyze what that question, what you're looking for, and start building the evidence out from there. So for us, it was getting that direct client feedback, getting those quotes, getting permission to use those quotes in a submission to yourself. So it was quite an orderly process for us. And again, you know, when you're basing it on your tickets and the evidence and the immediate feedback, and then the customer experience, it was easy enough for us to. When I say easy, it was a lengthy process. There's a lot of client negotiations, and trying to get lawyers to sign off on wording for anything is, you know, is more challenging than it needs to be sometimes. But you know, we got there with a few shoves and reminders of deadlines, and you know, a free day of services here and there. You know, just if we use this quote, we'll do half a day free training for you type of thing. You know, it's those types of things that, you know, you find yourself doing. So that was how we pulled things together.
There was two absolute top tips that I picked out of there. One was if you're asking your team to get involved and pull together the evidence, give them time away from the desk, so that they can you know, put some devoted time, dedicated time, undistracted, into getting the evidence together. And that's a great tip. And the other one I really liked is building a story, having a narrative around it. That's really interesting. Hopefully people are writing this stuff down, because I'm certainly not. Irina, you did tell us a lot about your experience, and how you were given a very short notice. So I'm going to ask Morten just a little bit about his process around creating that award entry, and what his top tips are for writing their entries.
Yep. Yes. Well, the idea of entering the competition, as it didn't come exclusively from the management. We did have the team buy-ins as well. So when we started to actually fill in the details, it was a matter of fact that we split it up, saying who really wants to participate or contribute in this specific section, or wants to contribute in this specific section. And there were quite a lot of we were about 25 people, and a lot of the team and the management really wanted to contribute to one of the different details. So we split up the different sections and saying someone focuses on one thing, others focus on another thing, and then we compile everything when we meet again. And we did allow people as well to spend time getting away from their desks or getting some hours to actually fulfill this. And then we went to since we are an internal service desk, we went to our internal customers. It was a lot easier than Tanya's process, I assume, because we are the same company. So it was a lot easier to approach the customers that we know well and say, look, we're doing this. What do you think of the service we provide? Do we actually, the OLAs that we have in place, do they work for you? The net promoter scores, are they actually, these are the numbers we have, do they actually add up in your mind? And then we went into that conversation with our internal clients and customers, and that really worked well. And then focused on compiling everything at the end. And again, our starting point was that whole journey. So in this part, we said, where are we right now in that journey? Does this actually fit to what we do? So that's what we really focused on our side.
And that again, picking out the top tips, that's splitting the work up between managers and members of the team is really important. I certainly know, and especially from the certification process, where you've got some sort of big categories or big criteria that you're looking at, splitting it up and having someone who's got ownership and responsibility for each different area, especially if they've got particular interest themselves in that area, is a great one to spread the word.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. So in terms of the submission process, just thinking about that for a second, what were the benefits for the team? How did the team feel about the process? Did they enjoy the work? Did they devote themselves to it? How did they feel? I haven't spoken to Darina for a little while. So Darina, how did your team feel about doing the work in that short space of time as well?
It was a great exercise. However, we did have a big challenge, to be honest. And the challenge that we had was to put our best in a limited number of characters. This was this was the biggest challenge that we had. As you said, the most important thing in order to accomplish this was to split the work, to make sure that all areas are being dealt by the experts of those areas. And as you know, experts tend to be very passionate about their work. And that is why at the end, the challenge in submitting this was to narrow it down to the number of characters that you are imposing, which has a very good purpose, because it's very important to actually summarize everything so it can be then followed and easily understood by the judges. And for the team, it felt like a war was won, because we managed to submit everything in time. It was only the fact that we managed to submit in time, something that we were confident on, gave a huge satisfaction to everyone. I think we had around 20 people involved in this exercise from all areas, from support engineers to various specialists that we are having in the service management office, to HR. HR was involved in this exercise as well. So it was a great exercise.
Yeah. Cool.
And rewarding.
Yes. So Tanya, that moment when you click submit, when you finished it, how did that feel for you and your team?
I think by the time you submit it, it's kind of out of your hands at that point, so it is, as Darina says, and as Morten says, it's about trying to get, all of the information together in a sensible way, and, making sure that you're consistent through it. So you kind of need somebody at that editor phase. So by the time you submit it, you do have confidence in what you've written. You've got confidence. So you kind of go, well, it's either going to resonate with the judges or it's not. We've done our best in the time that we've been given to try and pull all of this together. And I think at that point it's that nervousness, but it's a bit like anything else in life. When it's somebody else's problem from that point on, you're just like, well, we've done our bit. So it felt really good to do it. I think, there was a huge sense of satisfaction. And then as it gets closer to when you figure out if you're shortlisted, that's kind of when the nerves start to kick in at that point, because you're just sort of, you don't know. It was the first time we'd ever gone through this process, so it was completely unknown for us. So I think we were nervous but skeptical, I think is the nicest way to put it. It's like, oh, we're going to be up against some really major companies there, and it's been a really lovely exercise for us to be able to try and sum up why we should win an award. So from that point, I think the experience of doing it was really valuable. It pulled everybody together, and I think it gave people a lot more pride in their work. They understood why we're doing what we do, why we've got processes in place, all of those things, and the entire company can get behind you at that point once they see the quality of the work that's done. So I think it really boosted the presence and the morale of the support desk, because again, sometimes their voice gets lost amongst the sales team or the marketing team or the developers. So it was nice to put them first and foremost, amongst sort of what we were doing as a business. That was really important to us as well.
It's a great way to do some internal promotion, isn't it? Because you're collecting all that information, so you can use it over and over again in different ways, and but also having your name on the website, having your name involved in the awards is great to share with some colleagues who may not always see you at your best.
Definitely.
So we've got, and still got loads of questions. We've got some coming through. So there's the next stage of the process is shortlisting, and then the judging day. And so I'm not going to limit you to what you want to talk about, but in terms of those sections of the process, what were your experiences? So Morten, what did you enjoy? What was notable for you?
Yeah, well, as I said, our really our first kind of milestone was actually when we got when we were being shortlisted, because that's actually all we were hoping for to begin with. Saying we've done the process, we outlined everything, proven what we think we're worth, so to speak, and then we got shortlisted, saying, oh, it actually did work. That's really great. And then what we did from that point is that we gathered everyone on the team was really pleased, and if there were some skeptics along the way, they were convinced at that point, that's for sure. So, and then what we did is we communicated internally to the full organization globally, saying, we are part of this, we are shortlisted, this is now we need your buy-in, this is now we need your backup of everything. So, and that's of course easier with maybe easier with a large organization or smaller, I don't know, but at least that's kind of what we came, it kind of lifted us on to the next stage with a positive vibe, because we had the full backup of the company at that point, where we actually said, oh, well, this is what we do, and now we're at this stage. And that really that was a big surprise to some in the internal orgs, but it really worked well. And then we did an internal presentation before we got to the actual SDI presentation, saying we need to rehearse this, we need to make sure we present exactly what we want. So we did that internally quite a lot of times, and with a lot of feedback, both positive and negative, and took it all away and said, okay, we need to improve these things. These things were fine. I think we're ready now. And then we went on to the actual judging days and the next step in the process.
That's another great tip, is the judging days. It's exactly what it says. It's where you're judged on a pitch, on a presentation, and if you can practice that and get lots of constructive feedback from from a positive and supportive audience, you stand the best chance on the day.
Exactly, and there was a lot. I think we did it for maybe a couple of hundred people. I mean, on different calls and also live, really urging them to give us feedback of any kind. So that really worked well. There were some long days, but it really paid in the end.
Yeah, that's great. Darina, what were your key milestones on the next stages of the process?
I think getting over the nervousness of over the emotions of presenting, even though I must say I was very confident in what our value added proposal is for the services that we provide, and even though I was involved in many client presentations where we discuss, and I got their input. I was lucky enough to get their input in terms of what makes it a good service to them, what makes it a good service provider for them. For me, the key milestone was to actually get over the emotions of presenting in front of the judges, because if with the clients, I have when we discuss, we have workshops, we interact. It's a two-way discussion with the clients, and for me, it's my comfort zone. Let's say presenting in front of the judges was not necessarily. I wasn't in my comfort zone. Otherwise, that was my key milestone, which doesn't necessarily need to be the milestone for someone else. I was very confident on the presentation that we were having, because it was what we believe a proven approach to being a managed service provider, a good managed service provider. So emotions, but I think once you get over them, if you are confident and you actually trust your solution, that's the most important thing. Then everything else can be overcome.
Yeah, that's great. And so Darina and Morten, you both would have had judges visits as well. Now, Dorina, I remember the judges visit for you because that was a virtual judges visit. That was very different times, it feels like now, but because of geographical difference, we were in London and you guys are in Romania. That's right.
Yes, indeed.
And so we had a virtual visit. How did you find that? How did you prepare for that?
Well, with a very open mind. I think it's the first the first attribute, because as you said, it was different and we needed to be creative. And I think what was very important was that we actually involved the people that were doing the work, and I counted actually, I'm lucky enough to have a great team that are very open, very creative, very honest people, and it was easy. It was easy to actually, it was very late in the day for them. Everyone was available. They stayed after their work hours, and HR was involved. Delivery managers were involved, specialists were involved, everyone that actually needed to participate to give their input on how their day-to-day actually goes. It was a great experience for them as well. We had a great time. I think this is the most important. In this type of exercises, you actually have the opportunity to have a better relationship, to work together with the team, to contribute, and to actually have to be rewarded afterwards. It's great if you are rewarded. It's great, but also it's very important that you have this opportunity to work together on this. It was a great exercise for us.
Good. Well, I enjoyed it. We were doing 3 visits at the time, and the other 2 visits were face to face. They were in the UK, and it seems very odd to say that we went into people's offices and met people face to face, which seems strange now. But because of that, you weren't able to bribe us with biscuits and cakes, which is always a good exercise if you're involved in the judges' visits.
Yeah, but with good smiles, I think, with open hearts and good smiles.
Exactly. Morten, how was your judges' visit?
That was also in real life at our London office, and we because we have people in different locations, we flew in people from different European countries that were part of it. So it was mostly the team and everyone that contributed that were part of that day. And then I'd say it was, of course, everyone was a bit nervous, but it was also fun. It was a really fun day because it was also, so now the judges are here, we are on the spot, but we've got nothing to hide. I mean, we stand by with what we submitted in the entries, and we stand by with what we do at the work. So let's just have some fun. I mean, it's not a, we're not surgeons or anything. It's the service desk, and we do the best we can. So let's show that on the day. And I think that worked really well. So the judges, besides a small 10-minute presentation that we were about 8 different people doing that, taking small bits and pieces, then the judges sat at some desks and looked at what we were doing day to day, which I think was really, really good, because that actually was the part that proved that we do what we say we do in all our fine presentations. So that was really fun, and it was over a lot quicker than, I think it only took about 45 minutes, and then they were out the door again. We didn't even have the time to bribe them with cake and coffee or anything. It didn't work, but it was a really fun day. I think we were nervous, but it was really fun to say, okay, now we actually, this is action, this is live, this is what we do. So I think that was really fun.
Excellent. And I think, the key word there, you said it a few times, it is fun. It should be a fun experience. Like you say, we aren't brain surgeons. We're not flying a plane. We're providing IT services, and it can be quite a high pressure environment. And it's important that we can let our hair down and enjoy ourselves from time to time. Again, I'm going to focus on Darina and Morten with this question because of the award you were in. You got to do the fun video, so a 5-minute video it's not part of the judging process, but it is shown at the awards, and is, I'm happy to say, is on YouTube for both of you. I've looked at both of your videos over the last few days, and so if anyone wants to go to the SDI page on YouTube, and you'll be able to find them. So did you have a lot of fun doing those, Morten?
Yes, we did. It also there were definitely some challenges because we're based in 5-6 different locations all around Europe and North America. So trying to create some clips and edit them and get someone to actually put everything together, that was quite challenging on our side. But it was really fun, trying to show the diversity of both, people and locations. Someone biking in Copenhagen and someone on a snowboat or a snow car in Canada and Quebec, and trying to compile everything together. But that was really fun. But I said, I'm glad it wasn't part of the judging, because I'm not quite sure we would have gone any far with that. But it was really fun.
I think it's really important with those is to draw on what makes you unique, and for you guys being based in all those different locations, you were able to make it that part of the theme of the video, and it was a Mission Impossible theme, wasn't it? And I thought it worked brilliantly.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was Mission Impossible. So that was, and it was almost Mission Impossible just to gather all the details on all the small mobile clips that we created and get them gathered together. So it was fun.
And Darina, yours was based on a robot that told jokes, wasn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, it was. Actually, we took the best jokes and sense of irony that we have within the company. It was fun seeing reactions from different cultures, to be honest, because what may seem fun to someone in Romania may not seem fun to someone in UK, and the other way around, because we have different senses of humor, let's say. And it was an opportunity for us to discover even more on how we perceive ourselves. So it was a good discovery exercise for us, fun in the end. Not in the end, along the way, and I think the result was a British humor, I think.
So I encourage anyone to go on the website and have a look at those. They are great, and all of the previous participants' videos are up there as well. And I know that one of the interesting things, I think, that is that people's you find that your service desk analysts and the wider team, their talents come creeping out of the woodwork at that point. You find people who've got a talent for music or acting or putting together videos, and it's a great way for people maybe who are not front and center on day to day to show that they've got different talents.
If I may add something, actually, this was one of those moments where afterwards our marketing team came with a branding, employee branding campaign that we used afterwards. So it had another benefit for us.
That's really good. So the big moment then, and the announcement, you found out you've won. I'm going to ask you, Tanya, what was the impact on your team? How did they react?
If we're honest, we couldn't believe it. It was overwhelming. I think because when the actual awards were, it seemed quite a long time since we'd written them, and I think the entire world was going through the depths of the pandemic at that point, and it just seemed a really lovely and a bizarre thing to be all dressed up, everybody in their own homes or in their own locations, trying to sort of have a little bit of fun. And then we found out we'd won, and I think everybody cried. I mean, we were all just like, I can't believe something nice is happening right now. And it was a really emotional time, and we all had a glass and celebrated, and then we got after the award ceremony was finished, we went straight into an online party with the company. So it was really nice, and yeah, everyone was delighted, and it just felt such a welcome, happy moment within, you know, quite a difficult period in everybody's life at that point. So it just resonated unbelievably, and it was more emotional than we expected it to be. I think we were fully prepared not to win, but when we won, it was unbelievable. And yeah, there was many virtual drinks consumed, I would say. And maybe some real ones, just not together. But yeah, it was unbelievable. It was brilliant. It was just such a lift during a really difficult period.
And so obviously it's interesting that it was a virtual event, and that year the awards next year, the intention is, the plan is that is going to be another in real life, as Morgan put it earlier, in real life award ceremony. So hopefully we can get back to normal, and if anyone's been to the in real life awards, they are anything but normal, but they get back to normal and have a great big party. I think we could all use it. So Morten, how did your team react when you heard the news? Did you have were you online? Were you together? How was things in Copenhagen?
No, we were also split up in those 5 or 6 different locations when we got the news about it. I mean, at that point we already internally, I would say we were at that point where we were thinking it would be fantastic to win, but if we didn't win, then we still won internally because we managed to pull this off internally with that many people and different locations. So, but when we did win, it was fantastic. But we were all some were actually in the office in different locations, and others were working from home still. So, so we were. It was amazing when we won. It was really really nice for everyone, because it was a hard time, as Tanya said, for everyone, maybe company wise and also in the world with the situation it was. It was a real relief at that point, and we've been waiting a very long time because of COVID, right? So we're like, come on, we want to know now. Give us the answer. So that was really nice. But I mean, one of the side effects is that we won. We have a nice award, but actually that award is still sitting with me in the Copenhagen office. No one has seen it besides me and the people in my office, because the rest of the location are still either working from home or haven't been able to travel anywhere. So I've only showed it on screen or as a photography, but they haven't seen the actual award, which is kind of strange, right? So hopefully that will definitely be different for the next winners. So. But it was nice. It was nice to win. It was a good bracken moment internally as well, saying, "Look, we did pull it off," and that was really good in some hard times during some of the hard months in COVID. So definitely.
Yeah. And Darina, how did you use the award once you'd won and you'd got the trophy? Were you able to use the award for other purposes? Did you use it as part of your branding? You mentioned your marketing team earlier. What happened next?
Indeed, actually, you are spot on. We used it first internally to acknowledge the great work that our employees are doing, because I think they are the main reason that we won, and that we were able to actually prove and showcase our approach. And because you mentioned marketing, indeed, now it is in all our client presentations, in the certifications and the awards area. And also, to be honest, there are some clients or potential clients that are actually including this requirement, or not making it an mandatory requirement, but making it an advantage in their request for proposals. So it's definitely a good tool that we are using, and to every client presentation that I was part of, every RFP, I know for sure that we have a minute of bragging about it. Let's say. Yeah.
And Tanya, you gave away free services and the like to persuade your clients to allow you to use their comments and their feedback, and was it worth it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we use those in case studies and things anyway, so it was just getting permission to use them in a different context. So yeah, it was absolutely worth it. I mean, that's all over the award winnings, all over the website. It's in our email signatures. It's we submit it as part of bids that we have to put in. So it's a huge deal for us. It's lovely. It's up there with the Investors in People Gold and the ISO certification. Again, when you're a small business, you're up against quite big players sometimes. So you use any competitive advantage you can possibly use to differentiate you from other people. And yeah, it was a lovely experience to go through, and we'll certainly be putting ourselves through the mill again in a few weeks' time when we submit our new application.
Well, my next question and my last question, I'm not sure you're going to want to ask, because this is what advice would you give? But I imagine if you're applying again, you're not going to want anyone else to take advantage of all your learnings. But Tanya, what if you could give one bit of advice, what would you say?
I think it is both Dorina and Morten and ourselves have all used the same sort of approach. Get multiple people involved. Don't just use one or two people. It's definitely worthwhile getting lots of different opinions and lots of different feedback into it, and run it like a project is the other thing I would say, is that you've got a goal at the end. That goal is to win something, right? So you've got to go through it in quite a methodical way. So you've got to do your investigation, you've got to pull your evidence together, and then you've got to put in a presentation, and then so it's a really good experience. And yeah, I would just say, if you go for it with everything you've got. Don't go in thinking, oh well, we might do it, we might not. Just give it everything. It's a brilliant experience, and it boosts the team. It pulls people together in quite unexpected ways. So, and you're trying to get the judges to award your business, your team with it. So give them what they want. Make it impossible for them to give it to anybody else. That's what you're doing. You're telling that story. You're pitching everything at it. So just pull that together, really.
Thanks, Dorina. So what would be your top tip for entering the awards? Oh, I think we've lost sound, Dorina.
No, I'm here. I was on mute. This time it works. On top of what Tanya said, I would give just I would say that yes, give it all you have, but keep it honest. Keep it true, because throughout the exercise you need to involve the people, and it needs to reflect the reality in the end.
Okay, brilliant. And lastly, Morten, what's your top tip?
Yeah, exactly. I can only back up what Tanya and Dorina said. Use every tool you have in your toolbox. Use every department and every view you have, because and as Dorina said, be honest about it. And then as a service desk, one thing we found out is that a lot of the work we do is reactive. We react to something broken, we need to fix it. In this case, it was proactive, because you could say, we need the judges, convince the judges we can win this. Put in your best shot, being proactive for once. So kind of think about that process as well, saying for once you can actually help decide the outcome instead of just reacting to something happening that's broken where you need to put out a fire. Here you can actually think about the process, say, what is it that we actually do? What is it that we want to do? How do we work our way around this? So I think that was really good for us. So use every tool in the toolbox. Use every department that can help you get the right way, whether it's HR, marketing. If you have a DevOps department you work with every day, get their opinion and say, does it actually work when we work together with you guys on a daily basis? And if they say no, it's complete rubbish, then go change it. Make sure to change it and put in the process that helps you win this award.
Thanks. So that was my last question. And I have got a few questions that have come in from the audience, and I think some of them have already been answered, but I'm gonna pick up on one of them. So so one of the questions that's been asked was about choosing your category, and particularly where we've got different categories based on the size of organisation. So I think the important thing to say is don't worry about any of those things. All of those things get sorted out for you, and so you answer some questions within the submission, and that allows SDI to put you into the right category. So as the question asker has suggested, it could be quite intimidating going up against a big and illustrious organisation, and you may feel like you can't compete. And so firstly, the categories will be split up. But I think what we've heard today, particularly from Tanya, if you don't mind me saying, that it's not always the big guys that win.
No, you've got to be in it to win it, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
We have a question for Darina. The question is, you mentioned when you were giving one of your answers that HR were involved in your submission. So what role did HR play?
HR, because we approached the submission from a people perspective as well, and HR is very involved in our company in the learning and development of our people. So they do not only help us with the recruiting, the admin staff, the HR admin staff, but they are also helping us with growing our employees, our colleagues, in making sure that we keep them motivated, that we have all the tools in place to create that organization where people are staying because of the organization and because of the culture that we are helping. So it's, for us, HR is actually people and culture organization. So that is why we involved them.
Right. Okay. So it's beyond traditional HR personnel. It's more around staff development and retention and all those great things. That's thank you very much. And I think the last question we've got in is around the benefits that you got out of the bid, and what it did for the morale of the team. So we have covered this briefly, but would one of you, what's your thoughts on how about on the long-term morale for your team? So it's been a little while since you won. Is the morale still good? Maybe Tanya, would you like to answer that?
I think the morale's still good. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it, when you're as Morten said, when you're fighting fires every day. It's easy to get lost in that firefighting sometimes, but nobody can ever take away from you that you've got an award-winning team, you know. And I think that when it's dark times, when you've got to dig deep and sort of be really, really resilient, then there'll always be, you know, service desk and customer experience award winners, no matter what else, you know, no matter how bad a day is, you've got that sort of to remember, you know, that good can come out of dealing with fires every single day. So from that perspective, I think it's that pat on the back that people don't always get, but it's you know, it's there in black and white, and it's a nice award for, I mean, it's in our office, but not, like Morten, not everyone's seen it yet, you know. So it's almost a virtual award in its own right at times. But you know, hopefully we'll get all of the team in again soon, and everybody can see it. So yeah, it's been great for morale.
And just how good does it feel to be able to say an award-winning team when you talk about your guys? That must be amazing.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely awesome. You know, I won't lie, we were absolutely thrilled, and it's a lovely thing. It's, you know, it really did boost the entire business. It was lovely.
Well, thank you very much to all three of you for your contributions. I think I really enjoyed speaking to you and really enjoyed listening to what you've got to say, and I'm absolutely convinced that the guys listening are going to learned a hell of a lot for their submissions. So thank you very much. There's a couple more things that, that I just wanted to cover off for the benefit of the audience. Just, I think the first thing to say is there is a absolutely fantastic handbook that SDI have put together that explain what the categories are, how to apply. They give you some guidance on what to include in your submission against the specific questions, and they explain the awards in detail as well. So some of them are fairly obvious. You've got the individual awards for the service desk analyst, service desk team leader, and that really is a shout out for all service desk managers to recognise the great people in your team. And we talked about the best service desk customer experience and the MSP award, but there are some more interesting and niche categories this year around service desk resilience and service improvement. So have a look on the website, have a look on the handbook, speak to your friendly colleagues at SDI, and they'll tell you all about the categories, and they'll help you if you've got any other questions. So I think there is one more slide that explains the process. I think we can very briefly look at. So as we can see, download the brochure. That's a great tip. Write your entry. It makes it sound so easy, doesn't it? Gather supporting evidence and be ready for the 22nd of October. So go to the website and you'll get all the info you need there. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for listening in. Hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. Thank you once again to Tanya, Dorina and Morton. Really enjoyed your contribution. Really appreciate it. And hope to see you again in the 22 awards. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well.
Yeah, thank you.
And good luck, everyone.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.